Did you get blown away?
Slightly the word.
Yeah, I think a lot of the lights are out too.
On this street, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a
But
lot of wind.
we're gonna take it. It beats snow. I tell
By
you,
far.
yeah. I tell you one thing is, every time I wash that car, it rain. I can't get like 24 hours of a clean car without it raining or snowing or something.
But don't wash your car.
Well, you have to. You have to get some.
You the one doing this. It ain't climate change. I'm not denying.
I ain't saying you, JB. Well, listen here. We're going to welcome my daughter. We have a special guest today joining us today.
Hello.
Hey, Aisha from Atlanta.
Yes.
Yes, my
Cleveland
daughter.
to Atlanta.
From Cleveland to
Cleveland to
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Right.
And now back to Cleveland.
Right.
All right. Well, welcome, Aisha. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good, good,
Wonderful.
good, good.
Blessed to be here. Feels good.
All right.
With my favorite two people that I listen to on Sunday.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So you be checking us out?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about what's hot in Atlanta before you left.
Everything. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl?
Super Bowl was the hottest thing left.
Super Bowl.
And it's over.
It's
Yeah.
over? Yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, that was okay. So all right.
And the whole city was getting ready for it.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
So we did a lot of construction. I live directly across the street from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so they did a lot of construction to the
To
whole
prepare
city.
for it.
Yeah, and they took the homeless people through a lot of things too. So
Like,
we
As
did a lot
usual.
of projects with like giving back to the homeless and stuff because they were moving them out of the city, and usually they're allowed to sleep underneath the bridges and everything.
oh,
So they were moving around the city so to give a facelift so people don't see the underlining stuff that actually is.
That actually is going on in Atlanta.
so what else is going on in Atlanta before you left?
I mean, it's just a social city.
Well,
How different it is from Cleveland.
Oh, it is so different. I mean, the people are different. It is really a melting pot down in Atlanta, and people mind their business, and they allow you to attend business.
Okay.
So meaning like that, if you're going down there to open up a business, they welcome that. I mean, there's something always opening. There's new construction everywhere. Everybody's helping out everybody there, so it's very different. And the streets don't have the potholes that I'm not used to right now. Because this is something right now that I'm not used to, is dodging potholes.
You got to dodge around here. Some potholes got a history.
Yeah.
They older than you. Like, I remember that pothole, 1970.
Never been repaired. Huh?
Had a facelift, came on, one of
I
those
think the
box
potholes are-
bodies.
I think the potholes are for you to just slow down a little bit.
No, the potholes is because we cheat
Basically.
and don't do it right the first time.
Yeah, that's true, because they just patch and then they just get bigger the next time.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
technology is out there. I was just reading an article, again, about in China. They
Okay.
have this guy, the guy who created the tires that get punctured, but they don't deflate. You can keep on driving on it because they fill them with nitrogen or
Yeah.
something like that. It's the same guy who created, and he's Chinese, by the way, so most people don't know that.
Okay.
And he built off of actually a black guy who came out with, but it was a hard tire, so it wasn't even using air or nitrogen at all. But it was the cost. So this guy collaborated with him, and they came up with the unflatable tire. But he also came up with a smart road, and it's using the same material or the same idea. And about being a smart road, it also has fiber optics running through it. So a city or a town or whatever, all the electricity, it's like running through the road. And the road tells, like a control tower, how many, the congestion points and whatever. You can even get it on
Your
in
cell
your car.
phones? Really?
Yeah, in your cell phones. And it melts the snow, it cleans itself, it's self-maintaining.
Wow.
Real futuristic.
Right.
Yeah.
And it costs less, they said, than what we do every single year.
Yeah, with sod and destruction. Wow. Well, they really need to bring something like that here. I wonder how expensive
But we
that
make
is.
too much money off it. Certain people make too much money off our roads. You know what I mean? I think that's why it's a yearly thing. You know, like how many times 77 been done?
And you know what? I believe
You
that-
laugh, but how many
yeah,
times?
Yeah, every year. Every year. We drive out to Brecksville every year, and every year they are expanding. They are doing some kind of construction
They're
on that road.
resurfacing.
There is no
It's-
no highway that
Right.
requires that much maintenance.
Well, it's jobs, and that's why they do it.
It's
So-
ridiculous.
And then they overcharge.
And the city has all this money left over. I guess they have to use it, so they put it back into their highway.
City, state,
Well,
you got everybody getting a little piece of that pie.
yeah. You know, I was out shopping yesterday, and
She's always shopping.
well,
problem.
I love it. It's relaxing. You know, it's my friend.
I understand. I shop.
And I see people
Window
are
shopping.
getting their tax refunds. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first checks just hit, so
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the buggies was piled up, the lines was long, and me and a few ladies, we were like, what is going on, you know? And somebody say, they got them income tax checks back. And I'm like, okay.
Right.
And I mean, you know, people are just spending all their money up so fast, all in one place.
Well, they didn't get as much as they did last year.
Yeah,
so
they're sure.
they
They're
probably
not going to
earned-
get as much either. They were seeing throughout the year, whether you realized it or not, you were getting more in your check, so they could give you less in your return. So there's going to be some disappointments.
There was a lot of disappointments.
Yes, yes, yes. And then, you know, they're looking into where a lot of the folks were getting these huge checks because, you know, people do crooked things to get more money, return, especially with using children
Yeah.
that are not theirs. They borrow kids during tax time. Well, you know, they're going to tighten up on that. So, you know, you're going to be disappointed if you're used to them $8,000 and $7,000 and $8,000 checks.
checks.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah, they say they were going to tighten up on it and all that, but I think you might have another year or so maybe before they do that, because a lot of those income tax people who came back to work. Saw a movie.
No, that's fine.
What happened
Yeah.
to the tax man? Why didn't we have the
We
tax
gotta bring him
man
back.
on
He'll be
the
back
show?
this month.
Yeah,
Oh, he
I
is?
mean, he needs to
Because
come back.
you know
I
he's
was about
been
to say that.
really busy.
Okay.
So I gave him February off so he can come back in March.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of things are changing and James has just been booked. Yeah, so
I
he'll
bet
be
he
back.
has.
Yeah, yeah, because of things are changing. And I'm also going to be looking forward to bringing another tax guy on for corporate taxes.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of those, there's a lot of changes going on with that.
Yeah.
You know, so people need to
The
be
break.
informed. Yes.
They got a bigger break. But yeah, but one of my sister's friends, she's at the IRS, and she said a lot of them are still ticked off because of the layoff. So things are going to be moving very slowly.
Well, you know, well, not only that, a lot of the people that were working for the government, like the contractors,
They didn't even get paid.
they're not getting paid.
They didn't get no back pay.
Yeah, because I was talking to some, and they're not
I
getting
was
a back
too.
pay. Yeah,
and they were.
They're not getting
the
the
guy
back
I was
pay.
talking to was very angry.
Yeah.
Because this year he was going to retire. He can't retire.
Yeah,
They put it because he got put in the hole.
and that's awful, you know. So, but they're coming up with hopefully a lot of, I would say, creditors.
That's something that Congress can do.
Well, you know, a lot of creditors and different companies are helping those government employees with, you know, giving them extensions and, you know, skip a pay to help them out because of not being able to get a paycheck, you know, going that long without it. So what's up with this wall? Are they going to go? Is he going to go ahead and continue to build, or what is he going to do? What's his
Oh,
plan?
what do you
Anyone?
think about it?
I think it really, personally, I mean, I know we need some type of protection to keep people, you know,
The problem
from not
is-
coming over illegally.
Right, we do, and you know, and this has been an issue for a while. But real quick to go back to taxes, I personally think the Republican tax plan does not work, and it will put us more in debt. As we already see, the deficit's at 22 trillion, and that's just going to increase. And every Republicans talk about taxes, and we got to lower taxes for people and things like that, and then they don't want to tax the rich or corporations. You got to keep in mind, Eisenhower and Truman had raised the taxes on the rich between 86% to 96%. By doing that, now rich people still got richer. We're talking about the heyday where in the 50s and the late 40s, the United States per capita was making more money than anybody else in the world by over 75%. So that means those rich people were still pulling in cash. A lot. But by doing that, they were able to do what? Rebuild Europe and Japan, do the highway system, because we didn't have one. Intercontinental highway system, refurbish the train system, do a lot of rebuilding in cities and in rural areas, and increase the defense budget by 60%. And yet Social Security was still solvent, and they weren't borrowing from it. See, everybody says Social Security is going to be insolvent. The reason it's insolvent is because our Congress borrows from Social Security. We, the people, are the biggest debt owners of our own debt through Social Security. They give Social Security an IOU. Now, the only president who didn't do that in our times was Clinton. That's why Social Security had a surplus, because he didn't borrow from it. Now, get back to the wall. Our border is, in the southern border, it has got too many natural breakage.
Okay.
We do have a wall there already. It doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Even if it was 30 foot tall, people are going to find a way to climb over it. People find ways to climb over walls. It's one of the reasons back in the olden times, Rome didn't even have a wall until Trajan. Because the Romans were like, it's no point. It's no point. If they want to get in, they're going to get in.
They're going to find a way to get in regardless,
Right.
They're going to die getting in,
take
they're
going
risk.
to build a tunnel, they're going to get over.
Right.
So a wall doesn't really work. The Berlin Wall didn't really work. People found ways to get through it. If it did work, they wouldn't have soldiers up there shooting people at that time.
And then eventually they wind up tearing the wall down
And
anyway.
you say from the human trafficking and drugs, well, the majority comes through where? Ports of entry. They go right through the stops on the ground, and they come through the airlines. Majority illegal aliens, or people going in, legal immigrants, they come through the airports. 80% come through our airports. 80%. So what is a wall going to accomplish? It's a waste of money. It's a way that some politician or somebody going to get a kickback.
Well, also, it's I think it is.
It's you know what it is? It's the optical detriment, and the United States government came up with that, the optical detriment, which is like having a man with a machine gun in the airport that's supposed to tell terrorists don't come here. Really, if he's really a diehard terrorist, he's like, and move on. I already got it in the suitcase. It's already on the plane. It's an optical detriment. It won't stop the majority.
So what is your solution?
Solution, we have the technology where we can have, again, I'll use the word smart protection of the border. And that's using the technology. We have drones. You can have aerial drones. You can have land drones that go up and down the border 24 hours a day. Taking pictures, and the land drones, you can arm them or you can't. You don't have to arm them.
So
the
let
aerials
me
too.
ask you this. So you're saying that
And
do
more
you want people to come into the country, or do you not want the people to come into the country?
Unfortunately, in our globe, the world is smaller. We're only 350 million people. Our greatest threat is coming from a country that's 1.5 billion. Wars are run in two ways: people and will.
Okay.
If we have a conventional war, We cannot beat China. In fact, we couldn't beat China in the 50s. This is something about the Korean War that people don't understand. They fought us to a standstill, and they didn't even have a modern army. But they had people, and they had the will. When MacArthur was talking about dropping a bomb on China, and there was a whole big thing, people don't realize
I
that
guess
Truman
my question was
and
really,
Mao...
I guess my question was too hard for you to answer.
No, it wasn't. I'm answering. The
My
question
answer
is...
John, do you want people to come into the country, or
My
do you not
question
want them to come into
is-
the country?
I like to
I'm
hear the
answering-
explanation though.
I'm giving you the answer. I'm
What do
giving you an
want?
answer.
What do you want, John?
Hey, yes.
What do you want?
We need people to come in this country.
Okay, thank you.
We need them to come here, period, because we don't have enough people to actually defend when we need to.
So we need those people to go to war when it's that time.
They already are. You have illegal immigrants who's on in the military, even though they're closing down. And now when Trump made that thing to get rid of the immigrants in the military, now you have the military saying we don't have enough people to meet our means. The Pentagon has already sent to Congress and the president that said if we have fight a conventional war with China, we can only do it for 4.5 years.
Because we don't have the means.
We don't have enough people.
We don't have the people. Well, that's very interesting.
That means they'll win.
Yeah.
Because China has always, when they fight a war, they fight a war.
Well-
They don't do no playing around.
Well, one thing about them is they're about we as people as one.
Right.
Here we are people.
And it has nothing
we
to
are-
do with
we are-
communism either.
We're divided people.
They always
here.
been that way.
You know, here over in the United States, we're pretty much divided. You know,
I don't think we're as much divided as we think. I think we allow ourselves to be divided in a lot of our thoughts instead of looking at our common. What's the common good?
See, here's the thing that I'm looking at.
Okay.
And I think people miss it. Maybe not. This is the Americas. The Americas.
Because, yes, you have North
So we
America,
got
South
North
America.
America, Central America, which is the United States.
There's no
and
such
South
thing as Central America.
right?
If there's one on the north of you and one on the south of you, there's something in the center of
In
you,
the- right.
and that's called the United States of America.
Okay.
What we need to do is to make sure that all of our continent prospers. We need to make sure that our whole Americas
Right.
are one.
Right.
We shouldn't be dividing ourselves.
And that's where we are.
from-
We're divided
We're
up.
I thought they
divided.
had a bill or something that was going around where they was combining the two.
Well, that's
on the
NAFTA.
outside.
NAFTA is combining our economies together.
Yeah.
And everybody thought NAFTA was wrong, but it actually wasn't. It made us one economic bloc. Trump says he has improved it. The proof will be in pudding, and whether Congress will approve it. You have the House that is going to scrutinize it. It might not get improved. I think there were some good points into some of his changes, as bringing up the wage level for Mexico. But it goes beyond that, and you're right. We're all the Americas. There's a North and South America. Central America is like Middle East. It's something that's not fact. It's just what they
there
call
is a-
du jour.
No, wait, no, there is a Central America.
No, it's not.
Not the United States, but below us is Central America.
That's not Central America. Central America is part of South America.
Panama is what?
South America. That is part of the South American continent.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway,
Technically,
Okay,
just
we
like the
gonna have
Middle
to
East is part
Pull
of
the world map
Africa.
out, okay?
yeah, we'll pull a world map. Put
We
one
put
up
the
on
map
You
up
can
on
pull
the
up
screen.
on the
I'll put a
map,
map on the
but
screen.
Put the
put
map
a
up.
geological
and
map.
show John.
Pull up a
Okay.
There's such a thing as Central.
Because I
America.
knew
No,
there
you
was
got to
a
put up a
Central America.
geological map that will show the continents, and you have a continent called Central America.
I know there's a Central America.
Is there a continent called Central America?
No.
No.
Is there a continent called Middle East?
No.
We just call
We
it that
call it the
because
Middle
we
East.
break it up that way.
Right.
But there is only 7 continents.
Right. There's 7 continents.
All right, there.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the end of that.
Okay.
7.
Larry's gonna find it.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it.
You're
I'm
gonna find it. You're gonna prove the
I'm
point.
gonna pull it up
Pull it up.
just to show
Geological
John.
map of the
It is
continents. Pull up a map of the
Central
continents.
America.
Pull up a map of the
I'm
continents.
about to do that right now.
The
There.
continents.
Continents.
And we call it Central America was to make a distinction. In fact, it wasn't called Central America until the 30s anyway.
Okay.
Before then, it was North and South America.
North and South America. Okay.
Here we go. I found
You found
Yeah,
it?
go ahead. But you
Okay.
keep on talking.
Okay, so
If you look before 1930, you will see no map has a Central America and none has a Middle East
Let's see what we got here.
All right.
or a Eurasia.
What Asia?
Eurasia.
Eurasia.
Eurasian.
It didn't.
Yeah.
Because they strictly went by the continents. We do have to do a lot in the southern continent because a lot of their problems were caused by us from the 50s, the 60s, well, the 40s, 50s.
So really, the wall is just basically for the drug trafficking. What about anything else that they're
Yeah,
putting
and
up?
illegal immigration.
Hey, immigration.
Okay.
Criminals,
And, you know-
criminals coming across the wall.
Right, and criminals come, but they come through the.
Yeah.
A lot of these,
Go.
Like you
People-
said, through the airport.
they come through the airport. They own companies.
Yeah.
They own trunking companies.
Yeah.
And then we tell
El
them
Chapo was laughing. I mean, he's like, you're not gonna stop it.
Yeah.
it's something that's always been
His
forever
brother
going.
was the one saying he was doing a GoFundMe to get lawyers to impeach the president.
Yeah,
That's how much he was laughing.
that's why he was laughing, even though he was getting sentenced.
Now,
Yeah.
here's a map.
Okay, here's our map.
And they call this here to here Middle America is what they call it.
Okay.
Middle America. So from Mexico
Uh-huh.
border is the border
Yeah.
to Panama,
Is that the
which
continent?
connects Brazil. That is called Central or Middle America.
Is that a continent?
Okay, and now here's the thing: the people from Venezuela, where they're having a whole lot of problems,
Mm-hmm.
are traveling all the way from Venezuela
To get
through
over
Mexico
here.
to come to the United States.
Not all of them. Some are going to Brazil. Some are going
Yeah,
to
some are stopping.
Colombia.
Some are
Some are
stopping.
going to Mexico.
Yeah, right. Some are stopping along the way. Right.
Right. And the problem in Venezuela is not that there was, for instance, the guy we chose to go against Maduro, who we're backing, Guaido, do you realize he belongs to the same party as Maduro?
No, it's nowhere.
See, Americans don't even know that. That he is actually a socialist.
Okay.
Right. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
So it's an infight between the party
Okay.
in itself, which we caused. And that did not start with Trump. It started with Obama
Okay.
to destabilize because we didn't believe what Chavez was doing. He kicked out a lot of big corporations of America that were for the oil and things like that. So this has been a CIA operation for get-go
Okay.
for a while.
Okay.
Same thing we did in Nicaragua in the 80s with the Iran Contra stuff. We need to stop that. That's just the bottom line. If we're going to make the Americas and spread it, that everybody gets, the wealth and bring up people so they don't have to be in these caravans. And by the way, these caravans have been going on for who knows when, especially in the 1900s when we were taking people from the South to do our planning and stuff like that. A lot of the started like caravans as part of that. They're not just people coming here and trying to, they're actually part of that farmer migration, pickers and
Right.
planters people.
Right.
Their family's been doing that for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Trump to be so against us, kind of funny since his golf courses have hired so many people from one particular town, that whole town, and they're still employed.
And put them back over there.
Illegal immigrants.
Right. 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 Yeah. Well.
It
that's-
wasn't until about 3 or 4 months ago his number one cook.
See, you gotta be one way or the other. You can't be in the.
But life
in
is
the
not
middle.
one way or the other.
I
And that's the
No,
whole
it's
thing.
not.
That's the whole thing about this whole immigration thing. My father said he remembers when he grew up in the late 20s and 30s that Argentina was on par with the United States. Think about that.
Well, let's talk.
Then the United States government made a point to make that not happen.
Okay.
They got rid of the Democratic, government and helped Pinochet, or not Pinochet, it's Argentina. Yeah. Become dictator.
Okay. Well, let's talk about
And then they,
how they're
It's about
smuggling
competition.
the women over here and
human trafficking.
human trafficking. That is something.
That's a
really big.
global global thing.
I don't think they're smuggling. I don't think they're taking them out.
Yeah.
They're not.
They're taking
Yeah,
them out,
they're taking
bringing them
out.
in. It's a smuggling.
Atlanta is like one of the biggest
Yeah.
cities.
Speaking of that,
A slave trade.
Speaking of that, Kraft, the owner of the Patriots,
Was caught.
was
Soliciting.
having sexual relations inside of an Asian massage parlor, and the majority of the women, Mr. Patriot, Super Bowl winner, in the same city as Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago.
Okay.
He goes there frequently and has sexual relations with women who've been trafficked in to this Asian massage parlor.
Okay.
And so, well, like you're saying, and they investigated it and they found that the women not only, it's not like they go from their home and go there to work. They have to live there. They stay in these places. So that's how they know that they've been trafficked in, because they have no place to go other than that massage parlor.
They got rooms.
I mean, that's everywhere. We got
That's
some
everywhere.
here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
I mean, massage parlors and nail salons. I mean, there you go. You got those kind of women being trafficked into those massage parlors.
And it, and it's
big
sad
business.
because the ladies they lure them in thinking that they're going to get a modeling job or you were telling me about it.
Oh yeah, it's frequent where a lot of ladies, they go for like auditions and then they get the position and they tell them to go get their passports and they tell them don't tell anybody, let everybody find out about your
That's
big
the
shoot
one
once they
clue.
see you on it, and then you get ready to go to the airport, you get off the plane, you happy, and boom,
They snatched.
they snatched.
And
They
that's
drug
sad.
them and everything else is a go.
Yeah.
And then that way, when they're leaving, there's no trace really behind because you left willingly.
On your own.
Yeah.
And you didn't let anybody know.
Yeah.
You know.
Which is the number one.
Yeah,
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
Why-
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell nobody.
Don't tell nobody.
I'm about
Yeah.
to be on the cover. What
Yeah.
do you mean?
But I mean, once you're naive and when you're striving, when you come to a city like Atlanta, you're striving to be the best,
Right.
and you don't want people to know what you're doing, and
You're young,
you usually
too.
come, you're young and you're naive, and you come for a new change, and here it is, my opportunity, and I'm not gonna tell nobody now
Yeah.
because everything I done told somebody before it never happened.
Yeah.
So it's easy to convince the young women to keep it on the hush, and
Yeah.
it happens. And then of course, with our African Americans being kidnapped as well for our
Yeah.
organs and how they're being sold and how they're keeping
That's a big
a
trade.
lot
as
of
well.
rich people alive.
Yeah,
And,
that
yeah.
is a big trade.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. But you just have to be careful of how you go about making your money and who you're dealing with, and you can't give up that trust when things always seem to be too good to be true. It bears watching.
And that's also, we got to more educated people say, educate people to, if you hear something like that, check it out. See
Yes.
if they're actually a company. See if they're actually,
I Google everything.
a business. Better Business Bureau. There's so many different things you can see. Okay, are they legit or are they not? And by doing that, you set a footprint for those enforcement agencies to look into. With the human trafficking, that movie Taken. One thing when I research and everything like that, the funny thing is, Paris is the biggest city for that. That's like the capital
Really?
for the sales.
Okay.
For the best of the best to those super, super rich. It still is.
Wow. Yeah, so these things have always
For a
gone
city that's
on.
supposed to be so liberal.
Right.
It's one of those places where
But it's just
you be in
interesting.
the wrong place at the wrong
Wrong time.
time. You can be in on a selling block.
Yeah, well, it's really something that a lot of this has gone on. I mean, it's been going on from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And it will never stop.
Until people,
Till the end of time.
there's
it'll
more
probably
women
still
than
go
there are
on.
men. And it's not just women, it's also boys,
Boys.
men, and
Yeah.
children.
Young boys.
I think like for third world countries to catch them, like say, offering them a better life than
Yeah.
what they have right now. A lot of them are, a mud hut or something like that. I mean, thinking about going to America, or going to Europe. Or going
Parents
to
are
Asia.
giving their kids up
You know,
because they can't afford to
And
take
some of
care
them are
of them.
selling them.
Yeah.
You know, in
Yeah.
Vietnam, I was reading that this girl was
Selling her children?
Well, the family picked the eldest, and her income was supposed to come back to them. They sold her into being a maid in Oman, and she ended up getting abused and killed. They had a contract and everything.
Yeah, I've foreseen and I've told stories, and it goes on all the time. So you just have to really just be aware of how, never be too hungry for something, and not so trusting to others, because women do it. Women lure other women in
I think
because
yeah.
they can gain that woman's
And it's
confidence.
yeah.
And then she's selling you off too. So you just have to be careful.
Some of the biggest madams
Yeah.
in India, they're all women.
Yes.
Owners of their own crime syndicate.
Yes, indeed.
But they were kidnapped or they were sold and they rose through the ranks.
Speaking of sex trafficking,
Change.
Yes.
We got to change
let's
the way I
talk
think.
about John's buddy, R. Kelly.
Not my buddy.
Y'all don't want me in this room with R. Kelly,
Not my buddy, for one.
because I like R. Kelly.
You like R. Kelly.
So
I like his music.
I'll be the
I like his
underdog at this
music.
table, for real.
I like his music.
I love his music.
I don't like the person.
I don't
No,
like the person that R. Kelly became.
I know. I don't think he became. I think he was. I think people don't realize he had a very, very.
You want to call it an illness?
No, he had a hard upbringing, and
Yeah,
sometimes
his sister
to
molested him.
To break that cycle, I don't think he was ever able to break that cycle, and he's
Absolutely.
repeating that cycle over and over and over again, and he's trapped in it.
Trapped
And
in the
it's-
closet.
and it's a sad thing to watch.
Well, it is really sad. It is sad when you have,
And she more than molested him.
who was this?
His sister.
His
Yeah.
sister?
Oh, yeah, his sister.
sister molested him?
Yes,
She
him and his brother.
destroyed it.
She
Sold their spirit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she crushed them.
So, but in all his songs, he
You hear
said,
it.
"I'm a bad man."
He's letting you know.
He told you everything that he was doing in all of his lyrics, and all the women was running to it. That's what the women wanted to hear.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
wanted that. They wanted to be the one that he took backstage and slam bam, thank you, ma'am. They wanted to go on the trips and the money and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And now that
Some
the
of these
families
parents
gave
pimp
pimped the daughters, was like, here, you want to make music? We get the money in return.
So I don't know how much is that is him and how much is that the parents.
I think it's
It's
equal part.
both. I believe
Absolutely.
And you know what? A teenager. See, this is one thing we forget. A teenager gonna do what a teenager gonna want to do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I
You
wanted to
can
be with
follow
the
me?
stars.
You know, that's.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you was like,
you
oh,
can be the best mama and daddy in the world,
Yeah.
absolutely.
but if that boy or that girl want to go and do something,
They're going to do it.
they're gonna find a way
Yes.
around you to do it.
Yes,
So
they
don't
are.
blame the parent.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
But
Not when you're
but
making
then
a
again,
contract.
But you know what? But no.
That's when I blame you when you're sitting there and
But you know what? Here's my thing: is you're in my household, and long as you're living in this household, I have some say.
Yeah.
And I have my rules.
Yeah.
And if you can't abide by my rules, then you are free to go.
But,
now, when you,
you know,
go,
but with
you're
him,
on your
you're
own
on.
for what you get
But
yourself
with him,
into.
it seemed like what's her name? Alea's parents. They
Aaliyah.
pretty much pushed her that way. It wasn't so much her
She didn't
as
have a mother like you, mommy.
it was.
They needed money.
Yeah, and
They were-
she knew what was going to happen.
And she was talented.
The mother knew about it. She even said she knew about it.
That's why they haven't spoke up about the movie.
But she used her daughter to get there and then marry him.
Yep.
When did she marry her? How old was she?
16, 17.
You knew beforehand and you pushed
So,
her.
so the mother
you have
actually had
blame
to
them
consent,
too.
agree to that
Absolutely.
marriage. Yeah.
So you knew all about his badness and all, yeah, and you.
I mean, you knew the
craft-
content of his song before you even put your
and
daughter
she
into his hands.
right, but
He
she
was-
manipulated the scenes to put Alea there. That's what I say. You have to blame them
I
too.
don't know. I think it could have been a little bit. This girl, I don't think they pushed it. This is what she wanted, and they allowed her to have.
And they
what she
supported
wanted.
it.
Right.
They-
They supported what she wanted.
And it came with
you know.
some rewards,
Right.
and
And
the
it-
parents were happy with the rewards that were
Exactly.
going to
It was
come
a
with it. So
I mean,
it was okay.
you know,
it
this
was a
isn't-
win-win situation.
Exactly. This isn't a country where marriages are arranged. I mean, you got to think about that. I know I have friends from India where their marriages were arranged.
Yeah.
You had to marry this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
At what age?
Without even meeting him, 16, 17.
Okay, so they're
Sometimes
now
younger.
16. Here we are. I think we're the only country that has that.
Who doesn't have an arranged marriage?
I mean, no, that has the age limit. You have to be what, over 18?
Yes.
We're the
We
only
have-
country.
Well, in certain states, like
Certain
in
states.
Kentucky, you could be
Okay.
13.
Woo, God.
13.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's hillbilly land. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God.
Tennessee, around the same. That's when.
Bubba can marry your
That's when that
13-year-old daughter.
teacher
Oh,
took that
no,
girl.
I got to pull my shotgun out.
Yeah,
now.
when that
we
teacher
gonna
took
pack
that
up
girl,
and leave that state.
They had to determine what did she go with him by consent because she was the age of consent.
Jesus.
So certain states, it's,
I mean, you gotta think about it. Biblical days. The girls were young when the men
biblical
got them.
days,
Yeah.
you're
I
the age
mean,
of
we're
consent
the
at
only one
12.
that have this standards that you have to be 18 years old.
18, yeah.
Well, I guess
In
we
some
have the
states.
standards of when a woman becomes a certain legal age as an age of being a woman. So it
Like
could
in
be
Ohio.
12 in some countries, and
In some states.
here we say 18, and then others it's 21
Yeah.
or maybe 16. Or when she has her period, she becomes a woman.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's
Miss
still
Stroke?
the guidelines in most countries.
So when do the men become a man? A man. What's the age on that? 13
12 and
in-
13.
in,
13.
in the Jewish area, in,
Right.
in their community. Now, African American men, what's their age? 18? 21?
Well, in the state of Ohio, it's 18. And Kentucky is 12 and 13.
Oh, my
He said
God.
12.
And
13,
sometimes a
Kentucky.
man don't grow up till he about 30 or 40.
Yeah, and then he
Or
still
50.
may not get there then. 75, still
Exactly.
running around
Like-
trying to have a 20-year-old, Keep
Yeah.
him living, keep him going strong.
Come on.
All right, now. And let's talk about Jesse.
Keep it going strong. You ain't getting nothing going strong at 75,
You be surprised.
except for popping a pill.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. They popping a pill. Didn't Robert De Niro have a baby at a late age?
That's true.
Yeah, okay. He was going strong.
He said strong.
All right, so now what's
Going
your,
strong and ruin his marriage at the same time. I don't know if it's going strong.
what is your opinion about Jesse Smollett?
He got problems, and it's sorry that he did that.
I was
whatever.
really
If he
hoping
did it, if he did.
that he did not do it and that somebody was just trying to push this and
Mm-hmm.
kind of like smooth it over and trying to take him out. I was really hoping that somebody else paid those people to come in
Mm-hmm.
and to terrorize this young man. It's a lot of rumors going around, but
A lot of rumors.
I was really hoping that,
It's not looking too good.
it's not looking too
And I
good
mean,
at all.
but it seems like Fox still behind him. So I don't know if they did their own investigation, and there's still the trial. So,
And I
truth will
like the
come
young
out.
man personally.
I
I think he's a
did.
nice young man.
Yeah, I liked him, and I thought, he had no need to do this.
I was wondering if it was a
But if he
publicity-
did, he's
if
doing
he
it
did,
as a
I mean,
publicity
but
stunt.
what,
Publicity
as a,
stunt.
but what was the purpose
I mean, he has a
behind
bad
this?
PR.
Publicity.
Yeah.
Publicity, but they're going to
Free.
melt his butt.
Oh, no, well, they've already fired him.
Yeah, he's fired.
Oh, he's fired from the show?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
off.
wow.
You
And
know,
there must be something to do.
I mean,
Yeah.
and then
maybe
you
he can
know,
come out with a nice album now, another one, and take off. Bad publicity isn't all bad.
Bad.
You know what I'm
Some of
saying?
it's
So
good.
maybe this will take him
building this
somewhere
up for
else.
some big takeoff.
Maybe you just don't
And
know.
to break out
And I
of
read-
a stereotype.
And I read that now they're saying that the $3,500 that he gave to the two brothers were not for the stage attack. He gave them $3,500 before the stage attack for so many weeks of personal training and diet. Nutrition. So that had nothing to, because when they looked at it, they saw the records of it. It had not. They weren't paid for the attack. They were paid to be his personal trainers.
Oh,
Wow.
Now that's what the investigation
Yeah,
is. For.
yeah.
okay. So now they didn't get paid to beat him up.
No, they didn't get
Paid.
paid to beat him
Right.
up, but
So there's a lot, like you said, there
How
could
did
be
they
a lot
find
of.
these cameras, but with them buying his products in the store and
Mm-hmm.
like,
Well, come on, now, the camera's almost
everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, they
But
just
still,
gotta.
you can't find. You can solve you can't solve any
But
of
you
these
can't-
other cases.
yes,
I mean,
these
you
other
can't-
hate
you
crimes,
can't use
but
the camera
we
to
got
find a
this.
girl who got put
If
on,
they-
snatched up.
Or the
on
boy who got rolled up in the gym
Well,
at the
well,
school.
well,
You can't find these cameras, but we can find this camera.
Well, see, okay, let's say you got an alibi, and you say, well, I was at Walmart, boom, cameras.
Right.
And then I went to my ATM machine, boom, camera.
Right.
And
Okay.
now you tell them they can follow you just based on what you told them. Now, if he came up with a story and said, I was on 55th when I got robbed, okay, let's look at the cameras on 55th. And when I came up my apartment, they were meeting me there on 45th. Let's look at the cameras on 45th.
Right.
And then we gotta add the time in.
And that's how they
They make the
are able to
timeline.
bring it up on the timeline. That's what it is. Now, when somebody is kidnapped, well, where were they last? That's
It could
the
be
only
anywhere.
right. They could be anywhere, and that's what they can do. And that's why they try to tear down these abandoned houses because
So much is happening.
so much is
Yeah,
happening.
so much is
But-
happening.
Can be used
But
as
I'm
a-
starting to notice that if I drive down 55th, I'm looking at a camera right now on the corner of 71st and 55th. Matter of fact, I see 4 of them.
Not to mention the satellite cameras that can already come down and see everything that we're doing.
Bingo.
Right. I mean, we have
Right.
satellite cameras. We don't even need the little street post cameras. We got cameras that can zoom in
Mm-hmm.
better than the cameras that's on the post.
But that's when they're
Hence
looking for
why
you.
we don't need a wall,
That's
too.
when they're looking for you.
Oh, back to the wall. I guess so. But that's why you don't need a wall. We've got all of this technology today.
Staged attack.
Wow, Jesse.
I'ma still hope that that's not a staged attack. If not,
Then, yeah, I mean,
would
I
still
don't know.
hope.
Wow, that's a lot. You know,
it is.
Did he owe them money?
No, because you would have seen it transaction.
Well,
Or did
they
they
had a
want
camera.
more money?
They
Or
showed,
did they want more
they
money?
showed him giving them $100 to go buy the bleach or the gasoline, to go buy this, to go buy
Oh.
that. So
So it was a stage attack.
stage,
Stage attack.
but not for $3,500 though.
400.
$400.
$400. Okay. More to come.
They should have asked for more. Remember?
More to come
It's a
on this
shame.
story.
It's a
It's
shame.
sad.
It
This
is sad, and it is a shame.
a shame.
I think it was a publicity stunt that
Yeah.
that went around.
I think it was like rumors saying that he wasn't getting paid what he was expected to get paid on the show or whatever like that. And so I guess with all this publicity was going, kind of like
Blow him up.
and then the LBGT
Community
community
will
with
be
the backup
behind
behind them and
So-
record sales and stuff like that. So yeah, he's got a bad PR if this is what it is.
real bad,
bad. Wow.
real
that's
bad.
Yeah.
Not even thought out.
Well, and what else is going on here lately in the news? What was it? I didn't get all of it.
The
but
Green New Deal
What is the Green New Deal?
in Congress, they want to put. Well, the Green New Deal is switching us off for fossil fuels, and also about infrastructure, making it all renewable energy, solar and wind, that we get the majority of our energy from,
Okay.
and nuclear,
Okay.
which will, of course, make the planet safer,
I'm for anything
even though
green.
it's a little bit too late now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got all this modified. My daughter was
5G.
talking about the oatmeal now. They're saying oatmeal is no good.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Oh yeah, with the
because-
monostat and I mean everything right now is
Well,
being
it's bare
genetically
now.
yeah, it's genetically modified.
And I love my oatmeal.
And they said the worst ones right now is Quaker oats to
Oh
eat.
my goodness!
So
my
you
wife
can
makes
Google
oatmeal
that.
almost every day.
Well, they took
Yeah.
out all the good
Nutrition.
nutrients that of oatmeal. Yeah.
So yeah,
And I love oatmeal.
That's so that the plant can grow no matter the weather, insects and things like that. They modified it to protect itself,
Yep.
but in turn, it took out the nutrients that you and I need, the fiber and all that stuff, and what we need.
Well, that's just like we have a lot of modified vegetables, fruits and vegetables. We don't have seeds.
Heirloom seeds.
Yeah, we don't. There's no seeds
Well,
in there.
now
so.
that Bayer and I forget the Chinese company. Well, Bayer bought Monistat,
right.
and which is a Swedish company, I do believe. But
Are they a Swedish company? Mm-hmm. Because I think Swedish is one of the companies that don't even have GMOs in their own
they
food.
don't.
They don't have GMOs in their own food over there.
Yeah, but Bear bought Montesette.
But they bought Well, there it goes. Take down everybody else.
But it's the control of two. If you think about it, there's only two companies that control almost 90% of the world's seeds.
Right?
It's a Chinese company and Bear Montesette. And they pretty much split the world in two. You sell for the western half, I sell to the east.
And you have to grow with those seeds. It's a
Yeah,
must.
because that's why they knocked out the farmers, the small time farmers, and
Most of
Because
the
they didn't
small
have
town
money to fight.
and
they
the
didn't have any
Oregon.
money to fight, and so then they came
They
in.
have to
and,
do, unless they do a collective, which a lot of small families do.
Yeah,
They work in a collective. But even though the seeds are there, then you got your organic farmers who use heirloom, but there's not enough heirloom seeds, and plus you can get cross contamination if you're next door to someone using Montesette.
So, what is the real purpose of having organic
Food.
versus? Yeah, but here,
No food shortage. Or we all be doing Soylent Green.
well, I don't know. We
Remember that movie? That's my scary movie that scares me to this day.
What is it?
Soylent Green.
Soylent Green. Okay.
It's an old movie from the 70s.
Okay.
And they was killing the old people and making them into this Soylent Green stuff, and it could make food and turn it into anything like chicken.
Oh, man.
But it was people,
Sounds real to me.
and the government was hiding it. Charlton Heston was in it.
Now I'm gonna have to go
It
look
was
for it and watch it
scary.
again.
You can hardly find it anywhere. I've been trying to get that and buy it.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the Cleveland Public Library. They're pretty good with getting those movies and things like
So
that.
we don't want to be doing no Soylent Green.
No,
So they
no,
did
no.
Montesette instead.
Pretty much.
So we don't have a food shortage.
Yeah.
Think about it. United States have a food surplus year after year after year after year after year. How is that possible? When we had a famine and all these stuff going
But
on.
United States, we throw away so much.
But the food is
We're
genetically
very
modified
wasteful
to survive.
with our food too, you know. And no one here should be hungry because we have so much, and we just
You ain't
throw-
hungry. You just
we
not
throw
getting
it
no
away.
nutrition.
Well, yeah. And we're not getting nutrition when we start microwaving it, you know, cooking it to have it, you know, food to be cooked faster. You know, we're killing whatever little nutrition is in it then. You know,
If
the
any.
microwaves
You know,
are
in the
doing
beginning,
it.
it wasn't to harm us.
It was to help.
It was to help. It wasn't intentional. But after, so many years and people doing research and radiation and the genetically modified food, it has a...
Let me ask you a question.
Which is how we're
Well,
killing the
it's
bees.
just
Have you
like our
heard-
cell phones. They're so
Have
radiated.
you heard of anybody who died from microwave food?
Yeah.
Have you?
You have? Who?
A lot of people who have cancer.
Okay, but I mean, it's a collective...
That's not.
Well,
that's
they
not-
would know better than to be
Yeah,
putting
like-
something in the microwave.
No,
No, no, no.
But you think about it, microwave is actually you're nuking your food, literally, right? So you think about that. You got the genetically modified food that you're nuking. It's already bad for you, and then you're nuking
You
it,
add some more into
and
it.
it's or it's processed as
Let
well.
me tell you something.
Okay.
It's
You're
all
nuking
about
it.
making money.
It is
Well,
about
All
yeah.
making
about
money.
Making-
making
yeah.
money.
Yeah.
It is about
Yeah.
making money.
One week you will hear eggs is good for you.
Yes.
The
No.
next week somebody says eggs ain't good for you.
Well, you know, chicken
Because
was
they
a
don't
couple
want to
months
make
ago,
no money.
weeks ago.
Chicken ain't good for you. 1 week.
Well,
chicken
it-
cost-
Chicken is not good for you, the way they're being raised.
If they're using
I mean, they're
that
telling the
genetically
truth. It's not like they're
corn.
lying and just saying it to be
It's
saying
the
it.
truth.
Show,
It's the truth.
Show of hands, how many of us have stopped eating chicken?
I haven't.
No, me
Neither.
neither.
Guess what? And I know.
I limit it. I eat meat once a day.
Show of hands, who stopped eating chicken?
You know what?
They didn't say well,
I'm looking.
Hold on. You know what? And that's the same. That kind of saying is like this: if you're on a deserted isle and all there is coconuts, show me a hand that the man on the deserted isle ain't eating coconuts.
Well, okay, but we have a.
We're on a deserted isle filled with genetically
Okay,
modified food.
okay.
If you want
Show
to
us
just keep
who-
on kicking, you have no
Show our
choice.
hands who does not have.
Or you
who
can
does
eat
not
some
have
squirrels.
a microwave in their house.
I have a microwave in my house.
You have
And
a
guess
microwave?
what?
I do,
You
but
don't
I
have-
use the oven.
I have a microwave.
I do use the
I have a
oven.
microwave for a couple of purposes. Because I'm going to nuke my food. Because, hey, whatever.
Okay, uh-huh.
And in case there's a zombie apocalypse, I can turn it into a mini nuclear reactor.
And there's nothing wrong with just warning the people and letting them know what's going on.
Right.
Now, it's your decision if you're going to keep doing it, but at least we told you the
It's
truth
like,
about
it's
it.
like
How
me,
many-
who's a smoker.
how many
I
of you
see every
believe-
day. Surgeon General says,
Yeah.
How
"Oh my
many
God,"
of you
but I smoke.
believe that there is global warming?
I do.
Show of hands. Global
Okay,
warming.
global warming.
Global warming.
There
Okay.
is climate.
I'm going to say that it's called,
You got to speak too now, huh?
climate change.
no, it's not, it's HARP.
Hurt.
HARP.
And once you know, later on you look it up, HARP is something different.
Oh.
It's where it's where the
Human interaction.
No, it's where we're controlling the weather.
Oh,
And that's
that
I'm a
program.
conspiracy theory, so it's a lot of things I won't
So
say.
that- yeah.
But I will tell you to go look it up
Yeah.
and
Okay,
to
yeah,
go do
that
your
program,
research on it. But
it's
if you think about a lot of the hurricanes that we
Mm-hmm.
had and the natural disasters, including what happened in Washington
Mm-hmm.
and the state of California, you have to look at HARP. Like,
It was a program from the
it's
50s.
program, and what it is that like
CIA
the
program.
way they use the currents and the water, they control.
seeding
We
the clouds.
control all of that. Just like how they were building different islands and taking different parts of the world, like different soil, different sand, and then moving it all into one place.
So you
Island
believe,
workers.
so you believe that there's this big thing out in the sky that controls the weather.
It's not a big thing in
No.
the sky. It is actually satellites and different machinery that
It's
we
the
have
lab.
on the ground.
Ground that are doing
And
this.
it's just
See
like
the-
if you do like a science project. If I take a microscope glass
Mm-hmm.
and then I take a lighter and then and I point
talk-
it somewhere.
right.
I mean, I'm going to cause a fire.
Okay.
She's talking about a program that started in the 40s.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you look
it was
it
a
up.
CIA or OSS,
And-
and it
and-
continued all the way.
And you believe
the
that
70s.
in Roswell that aliens have landed.
Yeah,
I believe in aliens too.
Come on, think about it.
I mean, come on. Let me ask you this.
Mathematically,
If you were born yesterday, right, and all you knew was people, and then you seen a shark come on land, and you never seen a shark on land,
Mm-hmm.
like,
What would you
why
call
wouldn't
it?
it be an alien?
it isn't it.
Why wouldn't it?
It might be alien to you, but it ain't alien.
Okay, but we have
My
what
thing
is it?
is this: how many universes are there?
Right.
Okay.
How many galaxies are there?
Innumerable. Innumerable.
So innumerable by math
Right.
itself.
You
We
can't
are
believe
not
we're
the
the only
one.
species.
Ascension species.
Absolutely, you are.
Absolutely, we're not.
Yes,
We're
you
not.
are. Yes, you are.
No, we're not.
Yes, you.
There
No,
once
we're
were
not.
giants.
Yes, you
No,
are.
we're not.
You. If you only knew who you were.
I
you
know.
only knew
That it means
who
we're not the
you
only
were.
ascension beings.
Right.
If you believe that human beings are the only ascension beings, then you can't believe in angels. Are angels an ascension being?
Thank you.
Yeah.
You believe in angels.
They are ascension being.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see.
Angels are ascension being. Made a little bit more than the angels.
Okay. You'll
that
be
means-
judging. The Bible says you'll be judging angels.
That still means they're ascension being.
Okay.
Whether I'm judging them or not.
Okay, and so and I'm trying to get you guys understanding of things. So you believe in
get it.
aliens from outer space, and
There are
and-
other
and-
beings, other worlds. There's other worlds that Christ's been to. This is his creation. No man knows the mind of God at all. Or
Even,
what?
Even
I-
though the
or
Bible
what
says,
he
"Let
is
this
doing."
mind be in you,"
And
which was
yes,
also
it doesn't
in Christ
mean you
Jesus.
know it.
How
It
many
also
times has the
tells
Bible
you
been altered,
Let
though?
this mind be
Yeah,
in you,
because the
but
Bible
you
has
do
been
not
written
know.
by man.
There's a lot of things
you
that were
do not
taken out of
know.
the Bible for control purposes.
And especially St. James,
Okay, so-
modern day Bible.
right.
Well, speaking of Bibles, a
lot
co-worker
has
of
been
mine
left
showed me that now the LBG has their own Bible.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
yeah,
It's
I
okay.
did.
Jehovah Witness have their own
Their own
Bible.
Bible.
Yeah.
The Catholics have their
Well,
own
yeah,
Bible.
so now they have one.
the
They have one
Muslims
too.
have
yeah.
their own Bible.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
So it's so many versions. Everything has been altered, and I mean
From the
anything
original.
in this
From the
world,
original
everything is based on a
books.
control basis. It's
And right.
control.
And
Which
it's
goes-
another one's in opinion, which we all have.
Well, yeah, opinion and controlling that opinion through
Yes.
information.
Yeah.
The very first revolution, if you want to think about it, was in Egypt. The Pharaoh Akhenaten or Tumtis IV against the priesthood. What was so important about that revolution or that fight. It was about the control of information. Bottom line. Because the priests had the power because they control your way to speaking to the gods, right? Mm-hmm. And Pharaoh was saying, no, everybody should have that power. And well, he ended up losing, so to speak. Or did he lose? You know.
Interesting.
And it's still the same fight, control of information.
Control the information.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we know who has that
And the
information.
message. Right. So it was a program that was started in the 40s and 50s. And, you know, and it could be climate change. I mean, you had
And
Adam
they're not
Smith.
denying it at all.
Right. You had Adam Smith's cousin, the Reverend Malthus, who talked about that, about how people being, how if there was too many people, it would change and speed up the process towards the apocalypse. That was one of his theories, which he also based an economic theory off of, which we've used, you know.
So in other
as
words,
well.
when it becomes overpopulated, we have a way of
Controlling.
depopulating the population.
So that was hard thing. It was control the population. I think that's one of the reasons you're not going to get rid of the Supreme Court. It's not going to say Roe versus Wade is wrong. It's another way of population control. There's a lot of things that are population control, and people got to realize that are built into the system for the system or for, because the land can only
Hold so much. And
It
we
can
take so
only-
much.
yeah, it
we
can
take
only-
so much from our own land
it
that
can
we,
only feed so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know, we have water, drinkable water, that is becoming, as years go on, going to be a shortage. The glaciers are melting at, you know, an incredible rate. So,
something to
He controls
consider.
the weather, controls
and
the
it's a lot of
world.
things going. You got the, you know, the magnetic fields bouncing. That's why a lot of times you're getting you hear a lot of people complain about turbulence now more and more and more. That's because the magnetic fields are awry.
Well, more to come and more to learn and more to see
The world is changing.
and more to know.
But you can't run from it,
You
and you
gotta
can't close it out. You have
Yeah.
to come together.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you this. The Bible says, and I think Solomon said it, there is nothing new
Under the sun.
Amen.
I agree.
And that's where we're going to leave that at. There's nothing new under the sun. So when you're
A
going
will
out
is
next,
still a will, whether it's stone or rubber. Fire is still fire, whether it's at a campfire or you nuke it.
and please don't build walls in your home.
Right.
Learn how to communicate. Let's tear down those barriers and come together as one. We have too
Absolutely.
much dividing going on in our country and our own homes. Let's start coming together.
Since we're the only sentient beings in the whole
And it's-
wide universe.
And it's good. And it's just really good to sit down and have conversations
We only
to
have
see
each
where someone else's mind is at.
Right.
Because you'd be surprised what you may learn.
Amen.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're going to wrap this up. We thank you, my daughter Aisha, for
Thanks for
coming
having me.
here
Uh-huh.
from Atlanta.
Absolutely.
And we have my little
We got to
nephew.
do this at like our own little hot topics,
Yes.
like The View or something.
Yes, yes. And we're going to just give a
Cleveland time.
shout out to my great nephew. Come on out here, child, because he's been in the cut waving, and he's not going to say anything. But come on over here. I have my family here today, and Sincere, Auntie's baby. All right. Come on back to what's going on with Lady D and Sir John. And we are the home of the...
25-cent advertisement.
All right. See you next Sunday.
Be careful out there. It's winter.